All right, it is time for Friday Reads. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today and to share with you this video. In my Friday Reads videos, I share how my reading has been going, including what I finished, what I've started, and anything interesting I'm carrying over week to week. And it has been more than a week. So yeah, when I look back, I was surprised at how long it had been since I had done like a regular video. So I do apologize for the delay. There's just been a lot going on, and I was hoping to come back last week. But if you're in Canada, you know that last week on Friday, we actually had a nationwide internet and mobile outage from one of our big three major providers. And to be honest, I think it's really the big two. But so internet was down, wireless was down, mobile service was down for a lot, like 10 million Canadians and over 2 million businesses because Interact was down. So yeah, so no Friday Reads. I literally had everything set up, and then I woke up and I'm like, I can't get a signal. So it took a while to figure out what's going on. Thankfully, I ran into my sister's sister-in-law, and she let me know what was going on, and of course they had figured it out by watching the morning news over antenna. And I do watch TV over antenna, so that was good to know that that was still working and there was a way to get the news. So, but it was down for I think I was able to text around 8 or 9 o'clock, and internet came back over after midnight. So it was the whole day, which is, like that. And that it makes me realize that having internet and mobile on the same provider may be not the smartest way to go. So anyway, so no Friday Reads last week. That is totally reasonable that I wasn't able to do it, but I am sad that it's taken so long to get back into the spirit of things, or not the spirit of things, in the rhythm of things. One good thing to note, though, I'm really happy to say that actually I ended up reformatting my phone that I record on, and so now I have much more space than I used to. I used to only be able to just sneak in recording two videos before running out of space, and it would always require uploading one, deleting it, restarting my phone, and then hoping that the second one was able to still be there in the end. But it just, apps just grow and grow and grow, and you record stuff and you delete it, but does all of it get deleted? So anyway, now I have much more space on my phone, like 5 times the amount that I was working with, maybe not that much. But well, yeah, it's really 2 times. Anyway, I am able to record more videos in one sitting, which will help and help me be able to be more consistent on doing videos. So really, really happy about that. Anyway, so let's get, after all of that, let's get to the books. So as always, I will talk about what I finished, what I started, and what I am carrying over. So a couple finishes. One I got in was Beowulf. This is a new translation by Maria Dahvana Headley. And this is I picked it up because on a list it said it was a feminist translation. I don't know if I would go there. It's very much in regular language, mostly. So I was curious about it for a variety of different reasons. Also, Beowulf is one of those works that's really tough to understand, in my opinion. It is one that I've decided to add to my annual goals and read it every year to sort of help re-engage and but just try and understand it better. Because it's also it's an epic tale and there's fighting and, but when I read it, the first time I read it, I got nothing from it. Didn't pull anything. And then I did read it a couple of years ago again. And usually I read a version of it, whether it's a graphic novel or whatever. So this year I decided this one was at the library, so I thought I would give it a shot. And so I read it and I enjoyed it. It was definitely more understandable in this version for me. I definitely recognize some of the names from like Hrothgar. I'm like one of the guys I used to play MMOs with was Hrothgar, and I didn't know that it was from this, and so that was kind of funny, and totally non sequitur, like just anyway. But so yeah, so I got a fair amount from this, and I did understand the story, but I did still have some missing pieces in terms of it. So it's just a tougher work. So, but I read it, and so I am happy about that. I also read Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, collected by Alvin Schwartz, and this one is illustrated by Brent Helquist. Oh, and I meant to pull up, I will bring. So this one's interesting because it has, this is the same illustrator as the series of unfortunate events, and I did enjoy the illustrations. I'm going to talk about the illustrations and then I'll talk about the story. I did enjoy the illustrations, but I didn't think about them too much as I was reading them, and then I saw someone. Oh, that one's pretty good. I saw. Oh, there are some really good ones, but then there's also ones that I feel like don't give you a lot. Right? And then I saw someone have like a pretty scathing Goodreads review where they had read, they had got this copy, but they had grown up with the copy where the original illustrator is Stephen Gammell. And then I looked it up because it's available on Overdrive, but I decided to get the physical edition because of the illustrations, because on Overdrive, sometimes the formatting, when there's text plus illustrations, it doesn't work very well. But then I looked at these ones and I was like, oh, sorry, they don't come in great. I don't know the magic to make that happen. Does that work? So, like, that almost looks like watercolor, but like through drawing, and is very creepy and evocative. And I was like, oh, I kind of get it. Like, that's a very different vibe. And a lot of them have very like unusual proportions, right? Like this kid's head is pretty big. Is it a kid? Why, So I understood it, but I also feel like sometimes, like with anything that's nostalgia based, you're gonna like what you liked but like, that's beautiful. So I ended up picking that up on Overdrive and looking at all of the illustrations the day after I finished this version. So I can understand. So if you are, I guess it's also, if you do really want one with a particular illustrator, make sure you get the one that you want. When I got this from the library, it actually did not have this cover. I actually thought I was getting the other version. So they probably have both, and it's just luck that I got this one. So, but what was interesting about this was that it took me a while. After I was reading it for a while, I was like, oh, actually, I know this story. Like, this is a story. And then and then there's this extensive, not only bibliography, but the sources at the back are extensive. And it's even got like a glossary or something. What's the other thing? The notes, it's got abbreviations for the bibliography. And then this notes section, which I actually found almost potentially more interesting than reading the actual stories, is where they got the sources, or where the publications cited, and the history behind the stories themselves. And because when they got to one of the stories, I can't remember which one it was. Well, one of them is definitely the plot of the film A Stranger Calls, When a Stranger Calls. I was like, oh yeah, I know that one. But there was one about the headlights, a woman driving, and like someone following her and then not following her and then following her and then putting on the headlights, and she's like really, really scared. So I'm sorry, I'm telling one of the stories in this and not very well. And she's like just gets really, really scared, and she goes to a gas station or whatever, and she gets out, and it turns out there was someone in the back seat. And so they would turn on, the person behind her kept on turning on the headlights to deter the person in the back seat from attacking her. And I like heard that story as like an urban, I guess now as an urban legend. I didn't realize it was, a story. But then these actually aren't just like, he didn't just make them up. This is collected by. So these actually are like folk tales and urban legends and stuff like that. There's definitely at least 2 that are episodes of Supernatural. The Woman in White and The Hookman are both, I think, season 1 of Supernatural. And So they're actually taken, and I looked up the Dewey Decimal for this one, which is 398.2, which is fairy tales. Because I'm like, is this fiction? Is this nonfiction? But in the Dewey Decimal System, these are fairy tales. And but I would put it as folklore, like for my, because I couldn't decide whether to put it as nonfiction or fiction for my work, for my spreadsheet, and I decided to put it as folklore because I have one that's folklore and mythology. So yeah, so I was, and like they're really short, like they're just, oh, that one's great. See, and then that illustration is great. It's great, right? But they're really short, right? Like there's just a couple pages long. Like it was very fast read. I read it in 3-4 days. So, and it's a bit of a zeitgeist title too. Look, there's music. A zeitgeist title too. It's one that I'm surprised that I never read when I was younger. I'm a little sad that I didn't get to see the other illustrations, but now I've seen both because I got the other one on Overdrive. So that was one of my reads of the week, and yeah, so Beowulf and Scary Stories. I also did finish the 9th series of Unfortunate Events title, the Carnivorous Carnival. The live show for this is next week, July 19th on Izzy's channel, Punk Rock Girl PA. Me and her and Kate Kelly read this together. Hi, Kate Kelly. And I really enjoyed this one. It's pretty dark though. I forgot how dark it was. So, but it was a good read, and I am looking forward to the live show. Also, if you're a fan of Grinchathon, Izzy has also announced the next round of Grinchathon, which will be July 24th to the 31st. It's Sunday to Sunday. And I will leave a link to the announcement video up above if you would like to check it out. I definitely am going to participate. I think my TBR is going to be a bit late because I'm going to see what comes in from my library holds, and then browse the shelves at the library to get a few things for some of the challenges. There are no rules. Their challenges are there to just help you out in choosing your reading, and you can double up, triple up, manipulate them as you see fit, or completely not follow them. It's just about reading together. So I'm looking forward to this round of Grinchathon. I haven't done tons of readathons this year. Actually, this might be the first readathon that I've done this year because I've been so focused on, I did my own TBR jar picks for the first 4 months, and then I did my currently reading challenge, and then June, I don't even remember June at this point. I don't even remember. So yeah, so I think I want to get back to doing sort of like one readathon a month, and I did Berna is doing one, but I can't remember if it's August or September. I'll leave a link to it up above. Berna announced one that she is co-hosting, and I know that I would like to participate in it as well. So anyway, okay, on to what I've started. Speaking of the library, I got a playaway. I wasn't sure what format this would come in. I restarted listening to All Creatures Great and Small by James Herriot, and this is the one narrated by Nicholas Ralph. This is one that I started last year and was stuck on my currently reading because I was listening on Scribd, and I listened to it for a week, and then it wasn't there anymore. So I tried, it came up during the currently reading challenge, and it was a problem title. I had to solve the problem of how was I going to read this book that I didn't have access to, and then I thought, let's check the library, and they have it. So it's a playaway. I have never listened to a playaway before. I love that they have instructions on the inside of how to make it go, and it actually is very simple. You really just turn it on, and it says something. I like what it says. I can't remember. Is it? Oh, I turned it just as, I think it says build for listening. Anyway, so yeah, and you just put your headphones in, and that's it. And it says it has 5 speeds, but it has, and it's true, it's got normal speed, and then faster 1, faster 2, but then also slower 1, slower 2. I actually have found when I changed the speeds, I didn't notice much of a difference. But I listen on regular speed. I don't speed things up, so that's not important to me. So it might be something I don't pick up on very much. But I'm already, if you can see here, I'm already 30 out of 70 chapters through. So I'm very happy with that. So things are going well. I will say that this is a situation, though, of be kind, rewind, for those of us who are old enough to remember that. It remembers where you are. So when you give it back to the library, go back to the beginning. I don't know if there's an easy way to do that, but when I started listening, it was somewhere around this neighborhood in the middle of the book as opposed to at the beginning. Now, for me, this actually is a reread because I've read the ebooks and I've watched the TV series, the new one, so it was no big deal and I picked up on it right away, but I didn't realize that it remembered from the last person because it's very analog. And then you just hold the power button and it goes 1, 2, 3, and then it says like, until next time. So I'm really happy with how things have been going. I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks, so this is dedicated time for me. I actually have paired it with doing my physiotherapy because that's something that I do on the regular. So that's when I have been listening to it, and I think I will be able to get through it. I'm about, not close to halfway through. So I think I'll be able to get through the book by the time, if not this time going back to the library, the next time. So that's good. It's not my favorite. I really prefer to watch TV while I do physio, but I can do it if need be. And there's always confidence. It's always confidence building to know that you can do something. So I'm happy about that, even though it's not my favorite reading method. But I'm just not an audiobook person generally. I prefer nonfiction for audio, and that's just the truth. I do re-listen to some fiction on audio, but not that often. So I'm more of a print book or ebook person, and so doing the audio is a challenge. It's a skill. It's a habit, and it's not. And I feel like it's something that you work up to, just like you work up any other skill or habit. So I'm finding my way with it for this book. Okay, other books that I'm reading. I did also start Mammals. This is Dorling Kindersley handbooks. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. And I am loving this. This I just picked up off the library shelf, and it's got like just mammals and all different kinds of mammals. I don't even know what these are. These are, mice and rats. And which a fifth apparently of mammals are mice and rats. Here we have some carnivores. What do we got here? Oh, wow. I don't know what these are. Cody? Olingo. Oh, wow. Look at that. Wow. Where are they from? Does it say? Central and South America. Crab-eating raccoon. Wow, that looks very different than the raccoons I see. So I am loving this, and it really, one of the reasons why whales get 2 pages because they're big. I'm just very much in the introductions. I'm not even in, I don't know how this is organized because I'm still, the introduction goes on for quite some time. Classification. Oh, I can't wait for that. One of the reasons why I'm so excited about this, and I'm totally geeking out about this, is that one of the books that I got from the library when I was a kid was a book either on mammals or on animals, and it had different classifications and of the animal, like, all of the different things that this one has. Like, this one has the family, the species, the status, social unit, gestation, young, and diet. So it has all of these different parameters of classification, and then there's also the classification of this is the rodents section. Gosh, I don't know if I'll be able to read pages and pages on rodents. Although this striped mouse is pretty cute. Anyway, do they have to be cute? Anyway, but it brought back this visceral memory of picking up that book at the library. And I remember when I got it, I was a kid, I was 10, and I got out my notebook and I got my four different color pen. Remember the white with the blue on the bottom, and with the springs with the blue, the green, the red, and the black. And I wrote out different things of the classification and this name and the family and this name and all of this stuff. And I was just so excited about, honestly, the classification and organization of information. And it just opened my mind so much to different ways that you can think about something, or that you can classify things in so many different ways. And I was so excited. And so I read that book, or I read part of it. I'm sure I didn't read the whole thing. And I took it back to the library with the intent of getting it again. And I could never find it again. I never found that book again. And it meant so much to me at the time, and I was so engaged in the information, and then never again. So when I saw this on the shelf, I was so happy. Now, it does organize things differently. Tree shrews. Tree shrews. That's a Western... Wow. Tarsier. Look at those eyes. But even how they describe, like, some of the animals, like one of the animals I was reading about yesterday, they talked about front-facing eyes, and I never thought about that. Like, if your eyes are facing front, you have a different field of vision than if they're in different spaces. I didn't make it very far in biology, even though obviously I'm interested, but science was not my forte, and so even though I took OAC biology, but I dropped it when I decided I was going to go to art school. Anyway, that's a story for a different day. But so whether or not I will read every single page of this book, I don't know, but I am just enjoying it. And it just sort of exemplified summer reading to me. I know this is not what summer reading is for everyone, but it was just that idea of going down the rabbit hole, okay, animal joke, of whatever, whatever it may be. Like following the crumbs of that Goodreads review and the different illustrators and being curious about something and being engaged about something, that's a different rabbit hole. And then this is a different rabbit hole. And this is reminding me of how much I do enjoy information and classification and organizing information and also animals, like also the animals. So this has been a delight, but it's like 400 pages. Oh, it's just, I think it's it's 400 pages. So I'm breaking my 300-page rule for mammals. So that is one of my new starts, and I've been really excited about it. I can only read sort of 6 to 8 pages, and often I read it during the commercials of TV, and that's actually a really good pace for me just to get sort of like a page and a half in between commercials. So that's been really, really fun. In terms of stuff I'm carrying over, you might be surprised to hear I'm still reading Les Miserables. Nobody's surprised. So I hit my page count for the week, and I have my page count for the month. I'm just being very, very consistent, and I'm hoping to finish this second volume that is this weird crab situation. That choice was not a good choice. Anyway, I'm hoping to finish this one by the end of August. So that's the current plan, and so 25 pages a week is the goal there, and I have been able to be consistent with that, which I'm very, very happy with because things have been a little all over the place. And then in terms of other stuff I'm carrying over, I realized one of the things I could share in this section would also be if I'm reading like a series, and I've been reading the manga series Devil's Line, and it doesn't have, this is Crunchyroll, so it's, I guess there's an anime. Whoops. Well, no, it says manga readers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the post is about. Anyway, so I've been reading this. This is, if I remember correctly, I think it's a Senyan title. Oh, I'm assuming that. I have it written down somewhere. It is a paranormal thriller-ish thing. There are devils, which really are vampire kind of situations, that when they see blood, they sort of transform, and they are, I'm trying to remember how known they are in society. Kind of feels like not so much, because there is this... Okay, so here's the thing with the series. I just finished volume 6, and it's a complete series at 14 volumes, if I'm remembering correctly, and I am enjoying it. But the first one had very much a bit more of a relationship romance dynamic of a human girl and a half-devil guy, and he sort of saves her, and then, and he's part of a police force, like a special force within the police that specifically try and contain devils situations, and they have two half-devils on that police force, police unit. So, but it started out as this sort of like paranormal romance setup, but like as it went on, I realized, this is like more of a socio-political, like thriller mystery, and then there's like corruption within the government or police, and there's other police units, and then there's also sort of a bit of a conspiracy about potential, is it a conspiracy? I don't know, like a movement towards people who want to obliterate the half demons, and then there's the question of half devil, and then the question of like, where is their place in society, and can they control themselves if they see blood or not, because they really the art of when they go for it is very dramatic, and they can attack people. They're also stronger than the average human. So I didn't realize that. So I was just like, okay, like this is sort of cutesy romance, kind of cutesy, not cutesy, I don't know, whatever. And then I'm like, wow, there's all this other stuff going on, and I'm like, I did not know that was what was going on. So I ended up being thrilled that at the beginning of volume 5 or 4, they actually had a character sheet, and I'm like, okay, so this is more of a long arc plot with mystery elements and trying to figure out who's like aligned with who, as opposed to more sort of like a relationship thing. And like, I'm fine with that, but that's not how I came to the series. And so it's usually the relationship part is usually part of each volume, but now I'm like, okay, I have to understand the different characters and the relationships and the dynamics, because that's where the bulk of the story is going. So anyway, I don't know why I went on this whole tangent of like explaining it. I am enjoying it. I'm actually really happy to be reading a series that's complete. I'm pretty sure it's complete. I think I checked that. And also that my library has the entire series. I do find sometimes it's tough with manga, because I mostly read from the library, and mostly the Mediado version of things, because it's a page per turn as opposed to 2 pages, and I just find it a huge preference to read in that way. So I feel like there's not that many titles, like and then also that many titles that are available in terms of they don't have long waits. So I was thrilled. I did have to wait for volume 1, but I was able to, the rest of the series is readily available. So I think I might have had to waitlist one of them, but generally it's been available. And I have found it engaging and interesting, and I'm just excited about being able to continue and hopefully finish a series. So, but I really didn't realize that the plot was more of a mystery thriller. I wouldn't necessarily say mystery. I don't know. I don't think there's enough clues for it to be typed as a mystery, classified as a mystery, organized as a mystery, but I would say it's more of a thriller because of the tone. There's always, someone in peril. There's always peril, and definitely some sort of like who's allied with who, or where's people's allegiances, and then also some questions about the rights of devils themselves. And then just how it all works in terms of the paranormal elements. So I'm finding it rather engaging, and I'm enjoying it. So, wow, I really talked a lot of this one. I think that might be because I am out of practice and haven't been filming a lot. I guess I had a little bit more to say and to share. But it's been really interesting to see how things have been going. I have been mostly reading, as you can tell, library. I have been focusing on my library reads, but it did take me a while to shift into going from working on my currently reading to my library reading, and a lot of June I did spend focused on my currently reading, and then I was like, how come I'm not getting through my library books? Because I wasn't prioritizing them. So I have shifted that, and so, especially since I only go to the library in the summer, and so, but it's gotten a little messy in terms of all of the books I've started. I knew that would happen. I'm actually not stressed out about it, but I would like to make more progress on my library reads. So, but right now I'm in a bit of a sticky spot. But like this, this is going to take me at least 3 weeks. This actually did take me 3 weeks. This only took me a week. And this will take me the rest of the summer, if I even finish it. If I'm lucky. I'm happy to enjoy and explore it. Who am I kidding? I want to finish it. I always want to finish things. But I got a lot just from seeing it and just being so excited, and that was just from browsing. So, and I like having the combination of picking up my holds and having like dedicated reading time to specific titles, and then also being able to browse the shelves and just sort of see what is interesting, or what looks cool, or what catches my eye. For me, I think that is the summer reading spirit of things, is to be able to sort of be haphazard. I love having plans. I love being organized. I love making plans and following through and achieving goals. But in the summer, I just want to throw caution to the wind and just read whatever. And so that's why things always get messy, and the currently reading goes really high, and I start a tons of things, and it's fine. I just have to remind myself that that's what I like to do in the summer. And with the exception of sticking to my 25 pages a week of Les Miserables, I am going to let myself not worry about anything else other than library books and just enjoy them. And if I read other stuff, that's fine. Like, it's also not exclusatory to anything else. But, I don't want to feel pressure. And there's lots of days where I've barely gotten any reading done. Sometimes it's just mood, and sometimes it's other stuff. So I have to be aware of that as well. And if I don't feel like reading, like, that has to be okay too. Haven't quite resolved that one, but one step at a time. So there you go. There is my really long-winded Friday reads. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope to get back on the regular of releasing videos, and fingers crossed that I will be able to do that very, very soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.